Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, F-tier content creator. And obviously we are now, as of recording this video, I don't know when it's going to go live, but as of recording this video, we are 5 days away from the LCS lock-in tournament. I am so excited. And I mean 5 days away from the LEC as well. It's going to be so exciting. We have LCS lock-in kicking off and LEC Super Week. We need this at this point. Like, I'm so ready for competitive League of Legends to come back. I'm so excited that Season 12 is now underway. You know, content creators all over the place are starting to pick it up. People are starting to grind solo queue. People are tryharding once again. We are through, you know, the cold winter that is preseason, and I'm so ready to just sit in my bed and watch competitive League of Legends for like 10 or 11 hours a day. It's going to be really fun. But this does mean we are getting closer and closer to the start of, you know, the LCS and LEC broadcast. We are starting to get more and more announcements and information about what these broadcasts are going to look like. And yesterday, we got a very big announcement from Mark Z about his future with the LCS and kind of what some of his other plans are, even outside of the LCS a little bit. You know, he's still going to be involved with the LCS, but a little bit more of what's going on. I think there's some disappointing news, some upsetting news to people, but also some things to be very excited about. And these are topics and ideas that I have a lot of thoughts and opinions on, and I definitely want to share them in this video. No flame to anyone, nothing like that. You know, there's nothing personal. These are just my evaluations, my thoughts and opinions on, you know, different people in the LCS space and the LCS broadcast as a whole, because it's no secret that viewership has been going down the last couple of years, and I really think the LCS needs to do something about it. They need to be realistic with why the audience is, you know, not liking the product as much as they once did, and they need to be realistic about what kind of changes they need to make going forward. You know, I want to see the LCS and I want to see the LEC succeed. These have been my biggest and favorite forms of entertainment for the past 8 years. This is what I put all my time, thoughts, everything into. And obviously, the LCS and LEC having success, you know, kind of, I want to say impacts me indirectly, but really it impacts me directly these days, obviously through content creation and stuff. You know, if the LCS tripled their viewership overnight, some of that would come down to me. You know, it would definitely be very beneficial to me. So again, this all comes from a good place, but this is what we do here. We evaluate things, we evaluate people, so just kind of keep that in mind. But we did have this video yesterday. This is actually on Travis Gafford's channel, which is kind of weird because it's like, you know, Travis Gafford usually posts like higher production value, higher quality and stuff videos, not just like, I don't know, but whatever. This is just Mark Z sitting in front of a camera in his room talking about his future. So let's see what he has to say. And again, I'll be giving my thoughts and opinions. I like Mark for the most part. I think he makes good content. I think he's been, you know, okay on the analyst desk. I don't love him. I don't hate him. I don't think Riot needs to get rid of him. But, you know, here we go.
Hey everybody, I have a bit of a crappy update about my career in 2022, as well as some copium to follow in the end of the video. It sucks to say, so I'll just come out and say it. You'll be seeing a lot less of me in the LCS broadcast in 2022. It wasn't my decision or my choice, and I've been pretty depressed about it since I found out. So what's going on? The LCS broadcast is going back to just 2 days a week for most of the weeks of this year. There are some exceptions, such as Super Weeks, which are being brought back, as well as when there's like playoffs and you have those longer weekends. Outside of that, it's just mostly 2 days a week for the LCS.
So kind of interesting there. I mean, I didn't really know that. I haven't really looked at the LCS schedule yet, to be honest. So I didn't know they were going back to 2 days a week. But I don't hate that. The Saturday and Sunday are the nicest. Yeah, it was nice to have, you know, League of Legends on Fridays and stuff sometimes and Mondays, but the viewership just wasn't there. Not as many people were watching. It's much easier to just go straight from LEC to LCS. And the LCS gets a lot of those carryover viewers from the LEC being right after the LEC. And just having League of Legends standalone on a Friday was really tough outside of the top teams. You know, no one's tuning in on a Friday night when they're not already at their computer watching a bunch of League of Legends to watch, you know, FlyQuest Dignitas. That's just not where we're at this point in time. So I don't hate them going back to 2 games a week. Also, it helps since they're not doing like the 18-game summer or whatever this year. So I don't know, kind of an interesting change, something to note there if you guys didn't know that. But yeah, Mark Z says he's going to be at a reduced role with the LCS in 2022 because they're going to less days, so they're condensing the staff a little bit.
Analyst desk will be going to have 2 set positions. That's the plan right now. These 2 people will be appearing every day, and then there will be a rotating 3rd spot that is shared between myself and someone else. So what that means is for most weeks of the year, I'll be on the broadcast 1 day a week. Before I go any further, I'm not going to reveal who's who. Like, that's their thing to announce. I don't want to try and steal any thunder here. And
So I think it's kind of interesting. They're going to have the two full-time analysts, and we don't know who these guys are going to be, obviously, but one, I can almost guarantee you it's going to be Emily Rand, which I, very, very much so disagree with. I do not think, especially if they're going to two permanent positions, that she should be one of those, but we'll get into that more in a second. Also, it's kind of rumored, not even really rumored, but people are kind of speculating that second full-time analyst position might be Jat returning to the analyst desk. And if Jat does return to the analyst desk, that could really be one of the best things that's happened to the LCS in so long. They have struggled / completely been unable to replace Jat since he left. The product, the quality, everything has absolutely suffered. I think people would be very, very excited to see Jat back. Whether you love him or hate him, he has just been almost objectively good for the LCS, because whether he's super good, I think he's pretty good. Everyone else is just very significantly worse. They haven't been able to get anyone near the level of Jat. And then for those rotating analysts, I don't know if it's going to be Raz and Mark Z or what their plan is. I know Kaizen is out completely. I know Crumbs is out completely. So that's kind of where we're at.
And there's other people also who are leaving the broadcast fully, like who got hit harder than me, and I'm not trying to take any moment away from them. I also don't want anyone to shit talk my coworkers. Please don't do that. That doesn't feel good for me.
Well, we're going to do that,
Let's keep this focused on me in a non-self-indulgent way. I just mean that, I don't want to see other people hitting the crossfire here. I will be working a little bit more than once a week. For those super weeks, I will be able to cast sometimes or get extra days on the analyst desk. I'll also be able to cast in Academy when they have their bigger weeks as well. If there's ever extra league going on in North America, there's a chance that I'll be picking up those opportunities, and I'll still be on the dive. So I'm really thankful for all those opportunities from Riot still. Anyways, like I said, I'm fucking crushed about this, honestly. For the last 6 years, I've seen myself as like the NA analyst in some ways, or at least that's who I wanted to be.
Okay, and that's where I start to completely disagree with this. I personally did not ever see Mark Z as the NA analyst. He's a guy who I think is fine on the analyst desk. I do not think Mark Z is bad at all. Can be funny, he can be charismatic, and he can be pretty analytical. He kind of does everything well. I think Mark Z, at least in my opinion, kind of plays a better role playing off of other, stronger members. You throw him on the dive with, Azale, Kobe, Jat, whoever, and Mark Z plays a pretty good, second or third guy on there. He's not bad at all, but like I said, unfortunately, the analyst desk has been extremely, extremely weak over the past 3 or 4 years, and that's why you've seen dwindling viewership. You've seen everywhere people saying, holy shit, the last game ends and I have to go do something else. I have to click off. I cannot watch the quality of analyst desks that these guys are putting out. And yeah, I think Mark Z's fine. He's not great. He's not so entertaining. I'm not like, oh, Mark Z's on the analyst desk, I have to watch this segment, or I can't really click off right now, I have to see what he says. It's not that at all. And there is people like that. There's guys in the scene that absolutely make me want to watch more. There's people who make me want to watch less, and I wouldn't necessarily say that Mark Z is that, but he is just okay. He is just good. He is replaceable, and that's what he's finding out. He's in this weird kind of no man's land where he's not good, he's not bad, he's not polarizing. He hasn't really built out his personal brand in any meaningful way, and he goes on to talk about this a little bit in the video. And yeah, I don't know. It's just not super surprising to me that they are reducing his role, because he's a great person to have. He's fine, but at the state the analyst desk has been over the last couple of years, where it has been boring, terrible to watch, hard to watch, no energy, no charisma, no entertainment value at all. They've been going too far in the analytical direction, I guess. Some of these people aren't even analytical at all, but some of these people are the Emily Rands of the world. Very analytical. If that's what you want, great. But at the end of the day, this is entertainment. This is the equivalent of TV, whatever. We are tuning in to watch something. And the average LCS fan is not super analytical anyway. You have to be a little bit analytical to know what you're talking about and actually make sense, so you don't lose people's respect or you get ridiculed or whatever. But you don't need to be a 10 out of 10 analyst. That's going to go way over, 90% of the LCS's audience's fans. You need to be entertaining. You need to be engaging. You need to be funny. You need to be charismatic, because people are trying to be entertained. And right now, the analyst desk is about a 1 out of 10 in terms of entertainment, in terms of engagement. There's nothing interesting. There's nothing cool. Mark Z has contributed to this. Emily Rand has contributed to this. Kaizen, Crumbs, Raz, like all these people have contributed to the LCS analyst desk being one of the worst parts of competitive League of Legends over the past 4 or 5 years. Period. It has absolutely contributed to the LCS losing viewership over the last couple of years. It's been a dog shit analyst desk. It's been moving to remote and just having a lower overall production value. It's been Bjergsen Doublelift, a lot of the big names leaving. It's been lack of international results. You put all that together and you see the decreasing viewership. So again, I'm not surprised the LCS is making changes, but I also very much question their ability to replace these people, because the people hiring these people clearly have no idea what they're looking for. They completely have no idea what makes for a good show, or what makes for something entertaining, or what makes for engaging content, or what's going to make people want to watch more, increase viewership, or whatever. I don't know. That's a big rant that I've been wanting to have, so I know this video is kind of dragging on. That is a lot of stuff that I wanted to say, and I think this is kind of the perfect place to say it. That's a lot of the negatives, but Mark Z does go on to say some very exciting and positive stuff in this video too, that I am honestly personally very excited for. And it's cool he's going to stay on the dive, because like I said, the dive with with Azael and Kobe, I think Mark Z plays a very good third person there. But when you put him around people like Azael and Kobe, who are some of the best in the business, I think it becomes very clear that Mark Z is a third on that show. You know, he's not Azael, he is not Kobe, and again, that could potentially be why he's seeing a reduced role at Riot or the LCS or whatever.
I've done everything from.
But he's not the NA analyst. That is an absolute
LCS,
stretch.
everything
that
in
is
between.
Full cap.
But the LCS has always been my main focus of my career. I've always had little side projects going, but honestly, like I've never pursued those as a full-time career.
And that's a
I've
major
never
mistake.
taken time off either. You can just ask my girlfriend and my family how hard it is to get me to do anything when the LCS is in season. Azael and I have always joked about how cool it would be to be like 50 years old and still, you know, be these old geezers running around in the LCS. But honestly, it's hard to still perceive yourself that way when you're only working 2 days a week, most weeks of the year. And so in that sense, I definitely feel like I've lost a little bit of myself, I guess. That said, I'm not throwing in the towel or anything. As long as there's set positions on the analyst desk, like I want to be one of those people. That's my goal for 2022 is to, you know, prove that I can be that person again.
And I hope he fully understands that proving to be that person means you need to be more interesting. You need to give fans a reason to want to see you on the analyst desk. And the Mark Z we've seen the last couple of years, again, if he's on the analyst desk, that's fine. But no one's going to be like causing an uproar for, hey, we need Mark Z back. This show is missing Mark Z. He was so, you know, he made me watch more. That's absolutely not where he's at. So I hope, you know, him saying I'm going to get back to that point, or I'm going to prove I can get back to that point, isn't more in-depth analysis, isn't becoming more analytical. It's becoming a better content creator, which is why I love that he's saying he's going to, you know, do other stuff and work on more side projects and all this. That's what he needs to do. He needs to build his personal brand. He needs to give people a reason to give a shit about him and whether or not he's on the LCS. And yeah, it's like, I think it's a major mistake how he says, yeah, I had side projects, but I didn't really ever go into them. You should have been going into them the whole time. You should have, even while on the LCS, you shouldn't have got comfortable. You shouldn't have got complacent. You should have been building up your personal brands. You should have been building up those side projects. That would give a Riot a reason to not replace you, because you're too valuable. And right now you've made yourself invaluable, like not invaluable, but very replaceable.
And that's what I want to do. And my focus is proving that as much as I can on the actual LCS broadcast product, but also ramping up my efforts in my third-party content to deliver things that fans are really excited about that makes them want to see me on the LCS as well. So here is the copium. There'll be links for everything I'm about to talk about in the description down below. First up, I've been streaming a lot more on Twitch recently, a couple days a week, and that will definitely continue. It's mostly Genshin Impact content right now because it's the off season. There's not a ton to talk about, and Genshin Impact will continue into the future, but I'll also start doing League content, VOD reviews, power rankings, some fun stuff like the player ratings I used to do, as well as streaming me actually creating my YouTube content and stuff so people can see how I do research and preparation. Speaking of YouTube, I will be bringing back the Blame Game. Yes, that's right. It's finally making its long-awaited return. If you don't know what this is, it is a community-driven show where I go into Reddit threads and look for popular sentiments that people are sharing, and then I go and analyze if I agree with them or not. Those are all over my YouTube currently, so if you want to get a taste of what that's like, you can go look up some old ones. All of my YouTube content will be posted here.
So that's the big announcement. He doesn't really say anything else in this video. The Blame Game is coming back on Travis Gafford's channel, and I'm so excited for this. I think this is a great decision by Mark Z. I think it was an absolute terrible decision to ever stop the blame game. I don't know, maybe it started getting decreased viewership or anything, but even if it did, fighting through that, finding new ways to make it, interesting, engaging, entertaining, all of that stuff would have helped him become a better person, just a better person on camera over time, and it would have got a ton of views. I think Blame Game's very good content overall, and it would have, again, got him to a point where he could be a much more valuable asset. But again, bringing it back is awesome. Blame Game, I used to love back in the day. It's what made me become a fan of Mark Z in the first place. It's what made me care about him in the first place. And it might be why he ends up on the LCS analyst desk, why he got those opportunities. It's how people really started to know Mark Z. Having it on Travis' channel should be cool. It'll get decent viewership. If I were him, I would probably do it on his own personal channel. I don't know why he's doing it on Travis' channel, but I know why Travis wants it on his channel. Obviously, Run It just got canceled or whatever. They're not making Run It anymore, so now he has an open spot for the Blame Game to come in, but I think it's a great decision by Mark Z. It's something that only takes a couple hours at most, so I think he could have been doing it while working at Riot, absolutely. But anyway, better late than never. I think it's an awesome decision. I'm so excited to see the Blame Game come back. Maybe we'll be reacting to it. I'll for sure be tuning in and watching it. So I think that is for sure the best decision that Mark Z has made in a while. And again, this isn't to flame Mark Z. I don't hate him. It's nothing personal against him or anything like that. It's just, again, I want to see the LCS be at its absolute best, and I think right now we are very far from it, and I think people are just unrealistic about what even makes the product good, and I hope we see Mark Z, take some of people's feedback and take everyone's feedback and look at what the LCS is missing and what the LCS needs to get better, and hopefully work towards being that, and hopefully we see Mark Z in an increased role in the LCS again one day, because God knows the LCS needs some help. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. If you drop a like if you did enjoy it, I would appreciate that a ton. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about Mark Z being at a reduced role at the LCS, or just the LCS content in general? Do you think, I don't know, are you guys happy with it, not happy with it, love it, hate it? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.